I just wanted to jump on today to offer some theta healing downloads to those of you that would like them. If you haven't been healing before, it's a way of changing your subconscious to assist like you in creating a greater reality. So basically the belief systems that we have will often be the thing that shapes our reality the way that it is. And so what theta healing does is it assists people to identify those limiting subconscious belief systems that often they don't realize they have, because our mind is very much like a computer hard drive that retains a lot of information from other lifetimes, from our ancestors, all of these different places from childhood. And so what theta healing does is it identifies them, but also it's a way of kind of offering new information to be encoded into the subconscious so that you can basically begin to change the narrative of your life. So how we do that is we ask for the universe, the infinite intelligence of the universe, to bring in specific downloaded frequencies into your energetic field that assists with the recoding of your subconscious. Okay, so in order to receive this, you basically just have to be open to it and say yes, think yes. As I'm channeling different things, it doesn't matter if you're watching this now or if you're watching this at a later date. It works because it's basically between you and the universe, right? So in a sense, like, my job is to channel, but it's also to witness the change being done. But the change, witnessing that is kind of like beyond time. So at whatever point in time you're watching this, it can contribute to you if you're open to receiving it. What I wanted to focus on today was awareness. Okay, so me personally, I very much value the journey of becoming more aware, and I know that that is one that is not always easy. And for me personally, the times, I started out quite young having depression and anxiety, and it was part of the kind of ability to heal that was the acknowledgement of how aware I am. So as I became more aware of my awareness, I was able to kind of in a sense, separate the difference between my awareness and me. And with that allowed me to recognize just how much I was taking on the feelings of other people's around me and thinking that it was mine. And so sometimes just acknowledging how aware you are can help you transform so much if you allow it to. And it will give you a lot more clarity about the direction that you want to head in, or what it is that you'd like to create for yourself. Because a lot of the time, if you're not acknowledging your awareness, you might be picking up on the thoughts and the feelings and everything else that's, within your family or within, the people around you, and thinking that it's yours. And then you might be making choices based upon those thoughts when actually those aren't your thoughts. Okay, that's something that you're aware of. So I'm hoping that bringing in some downloads around this will assist you to basically have a little bit more strengthening of your being, so that you can be the one kind of leading your life, instead of being kind of thrown around by the waves of everybody else's thoughts, feelings, and emotions. So in order to receive, as I said, all you've got to do is say yes. I'm just going to take a moment to connect to the universe now and just see what it is, where to start, what it is that I can bring in. Okay, so first of all, I just would like to invite you to receive from the universe that you know what it is that your awareness is, and that you know how to live your life, your daily life, being aware, and that you know who you are when you are aware, and that you know the difference between you and your awareness from Source's perspective. Okay, that you know what it feels like to be aware without being lost in everybody else's thoughts, feelings, and emotions, without being consumed by them, without being imprisoned by them, without being encapsulated in them, or without having to suffer them. Okay, so let's just also bring in that you know the difference between your thoughts, feelings, and emotions and your mother's, your father's, your other family members, friends, and that you know how to have healthy, joyful, expansive relationships from Source's perspective, without you having to take on or be responsible for everybody else's thoughts, feelings, and emotions. Okay, so can we bring in that you know what it feels like to be here without resisting anyone's like sadness, anger, frustration, resentment, like all of the, anywhere you're like trying to avoid any emotional energy or intensity and trying to shut it off from your awareness, let's just bring in that you know how to actually receive all of that with ease without being affected by it, without it being locked in your body, without you being weighed down by it, without it feeling like a burden. Okay, so we're just going to bring in Source's truth, perspective, and awareness, if you would like it, of what it is that you're actually responsible for, okay? And that you know how to have relationships without being overly responsible for the other person. You know how to live without being overly responsible for everybody else. That you know how to be aware of everybody else's thoughts, feelings, realities without you having to do anything about it, without you having to heal them, and without you having to fix them. Okay, let's also just bring in, if you would like it from Source's perspective, that you know how to be aware without becoming overwhelmed, without having to control everything in order to feel safe, without having to control everything in order to feel secure. So let's just bring in that you know how to allow your awareness to contribute to you feeling more secure and safe and empowered, instead of feeling disempowered by your awareness. So everything that is creating the places and spaces of disempowerment with regards to your awareness, can we show you who you are without that dynamic, without that issue, without that problem in your life? Okay, so let's just also bring in that you know what it feels like from Source's perspective to be aware without feeling suffocated with the awareness, without feeling overpowered by it, or without feeling restricted, without allowing yourself to get confused and scattered and disorganized in somebody else's energetic field. Okay, so can we just also bring in that you know what it feels like for you to be able to actually acknowledge the difference of you, and that you know how to acknowledge how different you are without having to be the same as everybody else in order to learn, without having to blend in order to have connections with others, and without having to lose yourself in everybody else's emotional intensities in order to feel safe and connected to others. Okay, so I also just want to bring in some different downloads around like the spirit world or the energetic world. So I just want to bring in that you have Source's perspective of the difference between like ghosts, spirits, waywards, demons, ascended masters, angels, and guides. So you know the difference between all of those energies, and that you know what it feels like for you to be able to communicate with the spirit world without getting confused, without getting gaslit, without being tricked or deceived or betrayed by any energy, and without being taken over by any energy. So I just want to bring in that you know what it feels like to be dominant enough from Source's perspective within your own environment to be able to be aware without losing yourself, without losing your ability to know what is true for you, without losing your ability to choose for you. Okay, so let's also just bring in from Source's perspective that you know how to be aware without feeling like a victim, without feeling powerless, without confusing everybody else's powerlessness and victim programs as like being true for you. So everything that you are connecting to and being aware of within your life that is creating you confusing something with yourself, like basically like picking up on something and thinking that it's you? Can we just bring in Source's truth about all of those different things? And can we bring in that you know what it feels like to be aware without lying to yourself in order to learn how, and that you know how to be aware without having to lie to yourself in order to maintain connections to others? So can we bring in that you know how to be aware of the thoughts, the feelings and emotions of others that are uncomfortable to be aware of, without you having to block off your awareness in order to connect to them or feel loved or received by them? And can we also just bring in from Source's perspective that you know what it feels like for you to love yourself enough to be aware without cutting off that awareness in order to make somebody else more valuable in your life? Okay, so all of the places and spaces you're lying to yourself about anything in order to avoid making a choice that is uncomfortable based upon what it is that you're aware of that you don't want to be aware of. Can we bring in that you know what it feels like from Source's perspective of how to actually choose differently with ease without the fear of making that choice or the fear of change? So let's just bring in that you're safe to actually allow yourself to change. You're safe to allow yourself to grow, and that you know how to grow and change without lying to yourself or maintaining a level of stuckness in order to avoid your awareness of the change that is required. So in a sense, it feels a little bit like some of you have been holding on to some things in your life that like are no longer like, it's like they're no longer working for you in a sense. And it's kind of like sometimes when we don't want to make that change or that choice to change, we will go into dimming down our awareness in order to avoid making that choice. So I just want to also bring in from Source's perspective that you know how to allow yourself to move on from things that are no longer working for you without you shutting off your awareness or creating stuckness in order to learn how. Without fight. Okay, so let's also just bring in from Source's perspective that you know how to be as aware as you are without fighting against yourself. Without forming judgments or conclusions or points of view about the things that you're aware of. Okay, cool. So in a sense, part of the like gift of awareness and part of the ability to create ease with awareness is the willingness to actually move with the flow of what it is that you're aware of. Okay, so it's kind of like awareness is not like a fixed thing. It's changing constantly all of the time. And so can we just bring in from Source's perspective that you know how to actually be aware and allow that awareness to change all of the time and be in flow with that awareness without having to prove that anything is right or anything is wrong, and without you resisting the change and the transformation that comes with the willingness to be in flow with awareness? So anywhere you've linked change with pain, can we show you that change can be pain-free, that change can be enjoyable, that change can be exciting, that change can be something that allows you to thrive? And can we just bring in that you have from Source's perspective that you know how to actually allow yourself to change, be aware of the choices that allow you to thrive, that allow you to grow with ease, that allow you to have fun? Some of you have dimmed down your awareness because it's like you've decided it's a bad thing because you're so acutely aware of certain vibrational frequencies. So in a sense, part of the ability, well, the journey of being aware is the willingness to be aware of everything, which includes both the kind of like intense emotional, dense emotions that people go through, but also the lightness and the joy and the excitement and the adventure type energy as well. If you're not willing to be aware of all of the darkness, all of the suffering, all of the pain, all of that other people create, what happens is you won't allow yourself to get to the spaces of the lightness also, because it will become debilitating. So you'll go into resistance and kind of create a smaller reality for yourself than what it is that you're capable of having in order to try and cope with your level of awareness, which actually creates the opposite of probably what you'd like to have. So can we just bring in that you know how to actually be aware of, well, that you know how to be as aware as you actually have the capacity to be aware of, without you having to create a private universe or shrink yourself down in order to cope with the intensity of the awareness that you have. So can we also just bring in that you know what it feels like for you to occupy all of space, okay? And have ease with awareness from the space of you that is beyond the you that you've been functioning from. I know that sounds a little strange, but we have the ability to occupy all of space. And the more space you're willing to occupy, the more ease you will have with your awareness. So in a sense, it's kind of like if you're acutely aware of particular vibrational frequencies, like depression, for example, or sadness, if you're willing to occupy more space than like this planet, that won't seem as intense. And so allowing yourself to occupy that space will change so much if you allow it, if you allow yourself to. So I'd just like to invite you also to just close your eyes for a second, just expand your energy out to be bigger than this planet and beyond and beyond and beyond and beyond and beyond. Now, some of you have got into a habit of being less than this, maybe because of in childhood, or in other relationships, it's kind of like maybe you thought that, you weren't allowed to take up space. You're actually doing yourself and everybody else a favor when you're willing to take up that space. So can we bring in that you know what it feels like to be on this planet without shrinking yourself down in order to validate somebody else's idea of how much space you can take up? And can we bring in that you know what it feels like to take up space without feeling selfish, without feeling wrong, without feeling like you're taking it from another, without feeling like you're overpowering another? Because this is partially what also creates the resistance to, or the inability to have ease with your awareness, is when you're not willing to take up space, you have to basically kind of like retract and be like less present than what it is, than you have the capacity to be, because you don't want to dominate anyone. And so what that will do is it creates this place where all of the things that you're aware of can dominate you instead. So can we bring in that you know what it feels like to be dynamically present in all areas of your life, and that you know how to be that without needing to escape, without needing to avoid anything, without needing to hide, or without it being painful, without it being too much, without it being overstimulating. So I just want to bring in from Source's perspective that you have Source's truth about just how aware you are capable of being. Okay, and I'd just like to ask for a healing for all of you that are willing to receive it. In a sense, it's kind of like if you grew up in a family that had a lot of a certain vibrational frequency, it may be that your body is very attuned to that frequency. Meaning that, like, if you grew up with someone that was angry, all of the time. It might be that your body's very sensitive and aware of anger. If you grew up with someone that was depressed, it might be the same for depression. And what that can do is it creates like this intensity and this just certain like reactive responses to certain vibrational frequencies. So I'd just like to offer healing to any of you that are willing to receive it around the like basically what your body is attuned for. So I'd just like to assist you using the energy of source to bring in like a different possibility with regards to tuning your body into a frequency that is more in alignment with your being. So just going to ask for that to be done now. So anywhere your body has been vibrating at a frequency that is not actually congruent with you and that is more congruent with the energies of what it is that you grew up with, we're just going to ask for that to be shifted and changed. And we're just going to bring in the energy into your body, like the information required for your body to know how to actually shape and transform and create itself at a frequency that is more congruent with who you actually came here to be. Okay, good. Okay. Now, I think I'll leave it there. If any of you have any questions about this, feel free to leave comments for me and I'll get back to you. If you want to know more about theta healing, I'll leave a link. I do teach classes in this and I also do one-to-one sessions. It is an incredibly powerful and fast way of creating change within someone's subconscious mind when you're willing to kind of look at whatever's there and like really connect to the universe and bring in the information required. So like if any of you are looking for transformational change or empowerment, like in a sense, like the willingness to really be tapped in and connected can assist you with being aware and having ease with your awareness and not confusing yourself with everybody else's realities and points of view. So if you'd like more information about that, there will be a link below this video. Yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I do hope it contributes, and if it does contribute to you, please let me know, because I love to know that I'm assisting people. So thanks, guys. Till next time. See you later.